Hi guys! So here I have a 10 by 20 inch canvas and I'm going to show you how to attach the silhouette with vinyl. So this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the reverse side and I'm actually going to paint that side first. Normally I have no idea what color I want to paint, but a lot of people have asked if you could paint this side first and then let it dry, do the other side. So that's what we're going to try and do today. So what I'm going to do is, sorry that this is white vinyl, it's all I had, so this is just Liquid-X gloss varnish. I'm just going to paint it over the area that I want to put the stencil. And that way it'll just adhere a little better. So, like, I like to put the face over to this side so I can get a lot of room to swipe, but you still got to leave a little bit of negative space. So in and about that area is pretty good for the face. So what I'm going to do is just put some of this Liquid-X on. That might be quite a bit. And just spread it around. So I just need to put it where I'm going to put the vinyl, really. Just to give it a tooth so that it will stick to the canvas. Because right now, when you buy these canvases, this gesso is pretty glossy. It's been in a manufactured place, so you kind of want to give your stencil something to stick to. I kind of put too much Liquid-X on this one, but that's okay. It dries clear, so it doesn't really matter. Technically, you just have to cover this area, but I'm trying to spread it out. So I'll just do that. This stuff dries quite quickly. Because I just don't want any bumps or like lots of it. I'm going to use some of it on a different painting. So I'm just taking some off to use on another painting. So you just want to smooth it out like so with the paintbrush. And that way it'll stick. So what I'm going to do is, last time I just let it dry and then I put the stencil on. Some people have suggested putting it on while the Liquid-X is still wet to get a better adhesion, or heating up the vinyl so that the vinyl is a little bit stickier. So I really appreciate all those great tips and comments from everybody, because I love helping everybody out. So thank you so much, everybody, for sharing your great tips. And so we're going to try doing both. So I'm going to put it on while this is wet. And then I'm just going to heat it up and stick it on as well. So hopefully it doesn't rip the canvas off. Because it's super cold here in Canada. So I think I have to heat up the vinyl anyways. Because everything is pretty chilly. We're in like a big deep freeze right now, which is wonderful. So here I'm just peeling the stencil off, and this is obviously the other side of the face, and I don't have a cord long enough for my heat gun, but I'm just going to heat up the vinyl a little bit. That was the heat gun. So now I'm going to place the female face, I think right about there. And so I'm putting it on while the Liquid-X is wet. We're going to try this out and see how this is going to work. Okay. So with this one, I'm just going to brush a little bit of the Liquitex over the edge. Get a nice good seal. And let it all dry. Just like so. So, sorry it's white on white. I know I ran out of black. But basically, that was what I peeled off. And I just stuck that down. And the Liquitex varnish was still wet. So we're going to try this out. I haven't tried this way yet, but let's see if we get a good seal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this side first. Where I'm kind of just brushing the Liquitex more evenly right now. So I'm going to paint this side a solid color, the negative space, let it dry, or use the heat gun. And then I'm going to peel off this piece of vinyl, and I'm going to apply it on that side, and then I'll do the pour this way. So yeah, I'm super excited. So I'm going to let this dry and we'll keep going. Okay, so this is dried and looks like around the edge is really well sealed down, which is awesome. So I'm going to paint the other side a pretty gold. Just going to blob some on. The easy way. Just like so. And basically, I didn't mix the paint with anything. I want really good coverage of this gold color. And I'm going to paint in strokes that are away from, so instead of going like this towards the vinyl, I'm going to paint away from the vinyl. So I'm gonna try this out and just get good coverage for the negative space. Don't forget to do the edges. So this is just straight acrylic paint. There's nothing mixed in it. Some acrylic paints are thinner than others. Some are thicker. It just really all kind of depends on the quality and a whole bunch of issues. So as you can see, this one's a little bit thinner sometimes. So you just kind of got to do even brush strokes and make sure you go over the edge a few times so that you get good coverage there. I might have to do a second coat just looking at it, but that's okay. So you can kind of see where the face is right now. Put some more paint. Just gob it on there. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry, probably do a second coat, and then basically let that dry, and then I'll peel off the vinyl and apply the other side. Okay, so this is nice and dry now, and I'm going to peel off. We've got a good coating of gold, so I'm going to peel off the vinyl. So I just got to pull up the corner on the edge. Okay. So it is super stuck on there. So you just gotta peel it really gently. Oops. So it is super stuck on there. Whoa. Well, you definitely get a really crystal clear edge. Like, definitely. But it is a lot more difficult to peel off. When you leave the Liquid-X wet and put the vinyl on to wet Liquid-X. So, this is really stretching the canvas out. Yes. I mean, it's totally doable. It just takes a lot more effort. But I'm just worried because it's stretching the canvas out, like pulling on it. So I think the best way would just be to do like it wet just along the edge. And yeah. Maybe not the whole thing. So this is just me trying to get it off. Let's make sure you guys can see that. So that way did give a super clean edge. Like, it is super clean. But what I should have done, future reference for everybody, is maybe just leave it wet, the Liquid-X, along the edge and not the whole vinyl. Then it'd be a lot easier to peel off. Instead I left it all wet the whole way. But if I was to do it again, I would probably paint Liquid-X over this area, let it dry, and then just paint a little bit of Liquid-X along the edge, put the vinyl on, and then let that dry. That way you just have to peel off next to the edge. So, but that looks really good. Now we're going to apply the other side. Just grabbing it. So now I have vinyl for the other side. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do the trick with the Liquid-X, but I'm just going to put the Liquid-X along the edge, wet, put the vinyl on, and then go from there. Okay, so to get this on, got my Liquid-X medium. We don't need very much, so I'm just going to pour some on the plastic. And because I really don't want it to peel up, I'm just going to put some along the edge. Okay, so now we're going to peel off this vinyl, hopefully before that dries. Oh, here we go. Ah! Okay, so now the trick is to kind of line it up. Okay, I think I got it. Maybe not on the chin part. Okay, I'm just going to flip it over and give it a good burnish where I feel the edges. Okay. And now I'm just going to paint a little bit of Liquid-X just along the edge to kind of seal it. Now if there's a gap, like you could probably leave it a little bit, the silhouette I should have left a little bit over so you could see a little bit of a gold gap. I'm not too worried because I'll just paint gold. But if you are worried about hand painting along the edge, then just leave a little bit of gold showing so that the pour will happen over and you won't have to worry about painting in some gold. But the nice part about acrylic paint is if you make a mistake, you can just let it dry and paint over it, which is nice. So I'm painting over here because it peeled off a little bit of the gesso so you can see a bit of the canvas through. So I'm just going to paint a little bit of Liquid-X there and it should be fine. Okay, so now I'm going to let that dry and we'll do the pour. And people are asking like what colors and stuff. I'm going to do, I think like a brown female face with some really pretty golds and copper coming this way. Copper and maybe, I don't know, I'm going to think about it. Maybe white, maybe... or maybe black, we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to do a brown face. So you could do any color face, purple, blue, like any color you want to do the swipe. It's whatever your imagination can come up with, really. So, hope you guys have fun with them. And okay, I'm going to let that dry and we'll come back for the pour. Pour and swipe. Hi guys! Okay, so this is dry, which is awesome, and now it's time to do the pour. So I wanted to do like a fire goddess, really pretty. So you can see the shiny, there is the vinyl on here now. So I'm going to do her with brown. And I mixed up some gold, some black, some copper, and some red for the swipe part. Oh, and I need paper towel for the swipe. So, just so you guys know, anytime I do a swipe, all the colors have silicone in it except for the main color that the face is. So that one I leave, just grabbing the spray bottle, that one I leave the silicone out so you get that nice webbing effect. So the brown does not have silicone. It is mixed with Floetrol and water and all the rest of it, but it does not have the silicone. Okay, and for the paper towel, all I do is, this is just a big cheap spray bottle and it's just got water in it, and I just spray the paper towel until it's damp, not soaking wet, just damp. So I gotta get the spray bottle going. Okay, so it's just a bit damp, it's not wet, which is what you need. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pour the brown here and kind of move it around. So, there's my puppy, who's being a little turd today. As you can hear him, he's barking at a plastic bag, believe it or not. Okay, so I'm going to grab a paintbrush and basically, sorry about that puppy, I'm gonna make the paint a bit thinner towards where the face is, just like so. Oh, sorry guys, a bit of a cold. So I'm just going to even it out. This is just me trying to prevent some of the leakage underneath, but if you do, like I said, all you got to do is let it dry and paint gold back over it. Well, I had taken some cough drops, but okay. Okay, so I'm just going to move the paint around a bit. Well, it's actually not moving too much. But we're just going to move it away from the edge like so. So that's thinner paint on the edge. I don't mind if it's collecting over here because we'll be doing the swipe. Alright, so now we're going to put the colors over here. The pretty gold. The pretty copper. Got some fiery red. And some pretty black, which I don't want to put too much of. Maybe just like that. Okay, looks really good. Gonna add a little bit more brown. Just right there to swipe over. And so I have the damp paper towel and I'm just going to let it, so hold it up, get some of that brown so you can see it kind of making its way across, just like so. And I'm going to just lightly pull, but as I'm pulling, I'll go this way. I want to pull evenly across, but also kind of pull up on it. There we go. Beauty. Okay, so you can see the colors, ooh, already starting to appear. And we'll get the torch. So the torch just helps to pop the silicone bubbles and basically helps to create a few more cells up here. Usually they're a lot smaller than the big ones, but they kind of grow. Get the edge a bit. Really like it. Now I'm not worried about here, I can paint that back in. I'm just worried and working on the cells. Look at that. That looks really pretty. So, I do have a little bit missing on the edge here, as you can see, and I didn't get quite a swipe here, but that's okay, because what you can do is you can just pull some of this and get that swipe on the edge. Get the edges covered. Excuse me. And I think right here, I'm going to pull in some of the black as well. I'm just going to pour a little bit of black along the edge here. Just like so. And I'm just going to get it to flow over a bit. So don't be afraid to pick up some of the paint. You had on the bottom so that it flows over. Pretty. I like it. I'm going to put a bit of red here, or add a bit of red on the edge here. Yeah, I like that. Just help that edge get a few cells. Just going to heat it up. Beautiful. Look at that webbing. I love it. That is awesome. So here I can fix this part because it's just straight brown. So like here it just kind of had a bit of a divot in it. So you can just kind of fix it by dipping your paintbrush in the brown and just kind of painting over to make it all nice and even. And you can pull paint back just like so. So I could still see the silhouette underneath. And I might actually, so we got quite a bit of paint on her, but I do love what's happening here, but I'm going to pull some this way a little bit and then pull some back. There we go. Now this paint is going to kind of even out because it is liquidy. Just taking paint off of the vinyl. Beauty. Okay, I like it. So I'm going to let that dry. It's going to take a few days to dry. But this part here will probably dry faster. I'm going to try putting the heat gun to it, and then I'll be able to peel off this part And oh, I got some brown on here. But see, even though I got a little brown speck, I can just let that dry and I can just paint back over it. So I might even paint a different color on the front. I don't know, we'll see when it dries. But I do love what's happening over here. So I think it looks awesome. Okay, so here's it dried. Sorry, for some reason the camera didn't turn on when I went to peel off the vinyl, but it peeled off super easy because I had just done the edge of the face, so that was the key. Don't do the whole thing, just the edge. And so I didn't really have any issues. I just had a little bit of leakage at the chin that I just hand painted over a bit. You're gonna find that you'll see the Liquid-X on the gold. I had like a band where it was super shiny because I only had Liquid-X on the edge. But all I did was I just painted the gold back over it because it was dry. And yeah, so once I put Liquid-X over the whole thing, it should be all fine. So I just have to touch up some brown right there and in a few spots, but basically that is the Fire Goddess, which I love. She turned out gorgeous. I think it looked really cool. This ended up moving a bit, so important point. When you're drying your canvases, make sure the surface is level. So I forgot to do that. And so you can see how everything shifted because I had forgotten to put on a level surface. But that's okay. I actually kind of like what happened here with this. So kind of looks like this like beautiful fiery force thunderstorming in kind of. So I think it looks really cool. So beautiful Fire Goddess. I was debating on changing this, but I don't mind because there's lots of gold over here. I was thinking about red, but I don't mind the gold, so I'm going to leave it with the gold and just coat it with some Liquid-X gloss varnish to finish. And yeah, so that kind of worked out for doing the vinyl and painting the negative space first and then flipping it around. You just have to wait till it dries quite a few times. I think I still prefer waiting on painting this side because I did have to paint the gold over again quite a bit. So I think I might just do it the other way, but I did want to try it out for you guys because everybody was suggesting what if we painted this first and then did it. So it does work. You do have to do a bit of touching up, but other than that it looks pretty cool. So just want to say a big thank you to everybody for subscribing, watching, liking, and commenting on my videos. And I greatly, greatly appreciate everybody that uses my Amazon links for any kind of acrylic pouring supplies you need or anything like that. So thank you so much, guys, and I hope you guys are having a lot of fun creating your art.